Rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and peace be upon all of the viewers watching us today. Welcome to our program. We have been on this platform discussing the recent incidents that have been taking place at the Turkish-Bulgarian border recently. This incident that happens to be a very tragic humanitarian crisis occurred on the 24th of May of this year, and we've been covering the footage live of what's been going on there, particularly with and in specific with our members of this religion that have been persecuted in their home countries. We're going to be going over what exactly it is that's been going on. So welcome to our show. My name is Alia Al-Mahdi. I'm joined today with my dear brother Arnaud Al-Mahdi. Thank you so much for being here today with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
And yeah, it's been a very difficult series of days. We've not been sleeping well. We've not been feeling okay at all. We're very disturbed by what's been going on to our brothers and sisters across the world. We've been struggling as it is for the last months or so, especially since the release of The Goal of the Wise, the book that was written by the riser Abu Sadiq, from him is peace. We have seen a periodical series of events, very unfortunate events, where people, members of this religion, have been persecuted in their countries simply for believing in this religion and specifically in this book. And now when we go into what's been going on in the last few days, we see that at the Turkish-Bulgarian border, persecuted members of this religion had gone as legal refugees standing at the border, asking for safe passage out of Turkey so that they may seek asylum as per legal proceedings. And unfortunately, although this was according to international law, they were not allowed to go through, and in fact they were further persecuted by being beaten, and they were then detained, and they are currently right now detained in Turkey. This is something that we're very, very disturbed by. We have live footage actually of what happened at the scene. We've been showing it on our channel. You can see it here right now. You've got the members of the religion who have, they had previously actually even sent a letter to the Bulgarian authorities that had been signed by over 25 human rights organizations, all of which have co-signed and sponsored and vouched for the idea that these individuals should be allowed free passage out of Turkey into a land where they can seek asylum. And still, as you can see, the Turkish border police were not having it. And although they should have internationally by law allowed them through, they refused to do so, which we know is in fact a crime according to human rights laws.
It's a crime, and it is something that doesn't make sense on so many levels that I think all of us here and many people around the world are just shocked by the situation. On a humanitarian level, on a human level, on a legal level, on so many levels that I don't have words actually. But you have to understand, for us it's so obvious and so shocking because we know the story, we know these people, we know everything that has been done from our side, from their side, to just legally, officially pass through a border to arrive in a safe place, a place not to get money, not a place to get comfort, not a place to start a new life, just a place where they will be sure that with this book we have, this belief we have, they can just live, survive, and not being in the fear of being persecuted, tortured, imprisoned, and killed in their original country. This is what is happening. And these innocent and vulnerable people, we have families, children, elderly people. Most of the people, look at them, look at their face. They are not young people looking for a new life in Europe. These people are persecuted for years in the country. They come there vulnerable, tired, exhausted, traumatized from the previous persecution.
Exactly.
They come there, they ask officially with a letter, with human rights organization that back them up. Both of the borders, you have to understand, receive a letter from these people announcing officially they're coming. And you arrive there and the police act as if nothing happened. And not only that, they push them back. You have seen the image, we are seeing here the image. They beat them, they push them back, they drag them in buses, and then they arrest them. Not only they beat them and they are violent, but they arrest them. On which ground?
On which grounds? What law did they break? What crime have they committed? Currently, right now, these members of the religion, over 100 of them, are currently in prison right now. They are being detained, and it's, as you said, unknown as to why. And the worst part of all of this, because we have to understand, for anyone who's tuning in right now,
Yes.
if you're not aware of the situation, these individuals were standing at this border because they are being persecuted in their lands. Their governments are attempting to imprison them and to even take their lives. They're attempting to execute them based on this religion. They come from these Islamic states where it is not allowed by their states to practice their religion or even to believe in their religion. Places like Algeria, places like Iran, places like Iraq, places like Jordan, they are not safe there. And so when they came here to seek refuge, they were not just detained, they are now, and this is the worst part of it, they are now facing deportation back to their home countries where they have run from
Yes.
in hopes for not being killed.
Yes.
Now they are facing to be deported back to those very countries where their governments have told them, we're going to take your life, we're going to take your children, we're going to take your house, we're going to take everything from you. So facing that and facing the persecution that they have faced, where they were physically tortured, where they were mentally abused, where they were verbally abused, where they were harassed, where they were running for their lives, they've lost homes, they've lost family, they've lost loved ones, and still, despite the fact that they believed, and this is the worst part for me, despite the fact that they did not give up on their religion, they held the goal of the wise, they held on to this religion that says what? Humanity first. They held on to that ideal, and they believed that in this world there are countries, there are places where we can seek asylum, because they were promised that by the UN, by these countries that claim international human rights laws. So they went and they stood and they said, oh, you who call for freedom, free us, let us through so we can seek asylum. And what happens? They are hit with sticks, they are beaten, bloodied, they are taken in, they are thrown around, they are doing this to a group of people. Please understand.
Families.
They are doing this to entire families of men, women, children, people, fathers holding their children on their shoulders, elderly being helped by the younger ones, being beaten by sticks. I was absolutely, I don't know, you tell me, what did you feel seeing this? I was in such shock, the tears were falling down my face.
There is no word, and each time I see again the footage, it's the same goosebumps that go through my body. It's unbelievable what's happening, and why we come here also on live is because this is not only an injustice, it is totally illegal. What the border guards have done, it is totally illegal on the Turkish constitution, on the conventions of Geneva, on the universal human rights that Turkey and Bulgaria have signed. This is illegal, and deportation to countries where the people have been sentenced to death and been tortured, and we have all these documents that prove that these people have been, they know them. We have their name, we have the case. The Turkish police have their name, they know their case. If they send them now back to their country, they deport them, it is a tragedy, and it is a tragedy that Turkey will have on their back and on their hands for the rest of their existence. This is a crime against humanity, and not only to 100 people that you don't know. This is a case that shows humanity today. Who is able today to rise, to support us, to support humanity, not only us, but support humanity for that, because it is illegal. Bulgaria also promised these people to promise help. They say, come to us, we will welcome you. Where is Bulgaria today?
What is the silence?
This is a crime. This is the silence which is becoming a crime. Right? We say the silence, the mute devil, the people who cooperate with some people who illegally do bad action are completely cooperating and allowing it to happen. We are calling today to the international community, to all countries, to Bulgaria first, because this is the country that have promised asylum to these people. You have to stand up. For these people, you have to. Because this is completely illegal according to your own constitution.
And I think that's a very important fact that has to be understood. These people were not standing there without any understanding of what the law tells them. These individuals, who, by the way, are all people who were living good, actually comfortable lives until they were believing in this religion, and because of discrimination, their countries decided to make their lives a living hell. They did not need to come and stand at this border. It was only because they believe in this religion that they were forced to flee for their lives with nothing on their backs except for the book that they're carrying above their heads. And now, as you mentioned, for these countries to silently allow it to happen, and for Turkey to decide to deport them, it is not just a travesty of justice. It's not just that we think it's wrong. It's not just that we think it's immoral. It's actually an international crime, because it's illegal that they be sent back. It's not happened yet. They haven't been deported yet, but it looks like this is what Turkey is hoping to do. And if it does happen, then it would be considered an international crime. And this is just the plain facts.
You have to understand that history is repeating itself. And this is the same story that the first Christian who tried to go in a place where they are not persecuted by the pagans countries, they are the oppressor, the tyrannic countries. They try just to live in a place they can just practice their own faith. And this is what is so beautiful with these people. Do you know that these people come from over 8 countries? They don't know each other. They don't even speak the same language.
Yes.
They don't have a language where they can understand. Nevertheless, they go all together. They make this decision in the name of their faith, because that's what unites them. In the name of one faith, for God, because they have received so many signs and there is so many proofs for this divine call. They gather and they say, we want to live this call, because living without this faith is being completely dead. And rather to be killed, I want to try to pass
and survive with
my family, with my faith, and live in a place where I can at least practice what I am, what I believe in. And this is a right of humanity. This is a right that all these countries recognize. My God,
exactly.
they have to recognize what they signed at some point. Another story that happened not long ago, everybody knows this story. What happened last century with the Jews and the Nazi regime? What happened, so many stories when we say this terrible, all these people fleeing the Nazi regime, going at the borders of Switzerland, going at the border of Austria, going at the border of France, and being rejected because the country was saying, the country is full. You know that? They said the country is full. And they say today is the same. Europe is full. We are sorry. So we send you back so you can be slaughtered.
So you have to do it by
like
yourself.
sheep. This is what is happening. And this is 100 people, but there is thousands and thousands of people like that. This is not acceptable. And it will not happen until the whole world will know.
We cannot stay silent about it. And it's not just us who do not want to stay silent about it. This religion, this call, the effective head of the faith of this religion, who is also the writer of the Goal of the Wise, and I'm talking right now about Abdullah Hashim Abba Sadiq. This great man, whose book is such an incredible book, because just like you said, all these people, they have nothing in common. They have nothing in common at all. They don't speak the same language. They don't come from the same country. Their cultures are different. Everything is different.
The status is different.
The status is different.
Background is different.
Their upbringing, they're completely different from each other. They all were living their lives normally until they read this book, and they were so amazed. They were so baffled by the truth in it, by the divinity of it, by the humanity of it, because this book is one of the most bravest books of this time. Because why? Or arguably of all time. It really upholds humanity at its finest. It takes the creed of what a human being should be, and it lays it out for you in such a beautiful way that it's just, there are no words to describe it. And anyone who wants to read it, you can go ahead and read it, because it's available for free on our website. There's the link right there. It's theahmadireligion.org. You can actually read it for yourself. What has this book done? What is that book? Go figure it out and check out what this book is that has caused all of this. But these people who read the book and ran there because they refused to put the book down, because they refused to relinquish their faith, because they refused to say, okay, my life is at stake, my family is at stake, my children are in danger, I don't need this religion. Yes. They did not do that. They said, we're going to keep our religion no matter what. And these people have gone through enough. And now that this happened, the effective head of our faith, Abdullah Hashim Abba Sadiq, he has released a statement. He has even conducted an interview where he has shared his thoughts on the matter, and he's made a stance. And we'll be going into that today. But before we go into that, we know that yesterday he posted something on his Facebook, and we'd like to read it out for everyone to hear and to see what it is that Abba Sadiq has said about this. And it was and here's the thing, when you go into what Abba Sadiq has said, and I'm sure you agree with me, brother, it just gives you that, you know where you are. You know who you are. You understand that God is with you. You understand that it is worth being brave for your faith. You understand when you read his words why it is that all those people literally gave their lives and risked their lives, but they never put the book down. When you read his words, you know that this man and this call is worth following no matter what. So let's show the world what it is that makes these people so brave.
Yes.
Okay? So we're going to now read out the post itself for those who are interested in knowing what it is that Abbas Sadiq from his piece said yesterday on Facebook. So he made a post. The title of it was "The Defender of Migrants and Refugees," which by itself is such a beautiful title. In ancient Greece, Aphrodite was the goddess of passion and pleasure and those who were to get married. In ancient Egypt, Sobek was the god of the army and military, and in ancient Rome, Ceres was the goddess of the farmers and crops. If the God of the Torah, Gospels, and Quran could be described as the God of one thing or one group of people, he would be described as the God of the migrants and refugees. How beautiful is this? For our very story as human beings begins with Adam and Eve, who, after being banished from the Garden of Eden, are refugees, wandering as foreigners in the land. How incredible. What a great way to put it.
Yes, it is.
Noah builds an ark to take refuge from the flood. Abraham is told by God, "Go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land that I will show you." Abraham goes to Egypt as a refugee, seeking protection from the famine. Lot has to migrate to Sodom. Joseph and Jacob migrate to Egypt. The Egyptian king attempts to rape Sarah, and God inflicts him with serious diseases because of his taking advantage of Sarah, the refugee. God destroys the people of Sodom because of how they treated the refugees and migrants who came to their land. The migrant children of Jacob and Joseph are enslaved by Pharaoh and oppressed, and for that, God sends 10 plagues against Egypt. God then tells Moses, "You are to have the same law for the foreigner and the native born. I am the Lord your God." And he said, "Do not mistreat or oppress a foreigner, for you were foreigners in Egypt." And not only them, but also Jesus and his parents were refugees in Egypt. And Muhammad and his companions migrated to Medina after he was oppressed in Mecca. And today, even you, my pure friends, stand as foreigners in the land like the prophets and messengers before you. You were beat and prevented from passing through God's earth. You were detained and imprisoned. You are threatened with being sent back to Pharaoh and Nimrod, from whom you escaped. The God of the migrants and refugees, Adam, Noah, Abraham, Jacob, Joseph, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad, will look after you and make for you a way that never crossed the minds. Just as he made Abraham rich and gave him Hagar, and just as he brought Joseph to the throne of Egypt after he was in prison, and just as he gave Muhammad an army in Medina to conquer Mecca, so shall he do for you. The followers of Moses said, "We are being overtaken." He said, "No, my Lord is with me. He will guide me. Do as you will, for verily you are but paving the way for the inheritor."
Yeah.
What an absolutely incredible post. What a beautiful promise. And what an incredible pattern. This is something that we see a lot from Abbas Sadiq. He finds that pattern of God's ways.
He has this ability to find the reveal, the net, the structure, the underground structure of the divine scriptures, and to reveal to the public, and to make these links that just blow your mind, because you know it's true. You cannot argue with anything. And this post is so beautiful. It is the same words than Jesus, peace be upon him. Oh, you Christians that are all around, Bulgaria isn't a Christian place. Is it not all of Europe proud of his Christian inheritance and heritage? Yes, they are all Christians. And did you know that Jesus was firstly a refugee? He had to leave his own country to Egypt, and then he came back. Where Jesus was born, in a stable, right? So this is my question to all these people, to these Turkish people who also say they are Muslim and recognize Jesus as a prophet. How do you know? How do you know that in this crowd of 100 people, Jesus was not amongst them? How do you know? How do you know that it's not the time where Jesus comes back and he is hidden amongst the poor, amongst the weak? Because Jesus said, "What do you do to the weakest of you? You will do it to me." Do you understand that? That you have rejected people who are not only innocent, but they are vulnerable. But on top of that, these people all have the courage to put their families, their lives, their belongings aside for God. These people are all believers of God. And they all honor Muhammad, peace be upon him, his family, and Jesus and all the prophets.
Yes.
And you beat them. What is your ground to do that? Do you understand what are you doing? And now you want to deport them for them to be killed? You, by doing that, Turkey and Europe and America, who are overseeing the whole thing, you are partner. You are collaborating with this crime. And we urge you to take a stance and a decision now for it to change. It has to change, sister.
Absolutely.
How long? It's a song.
Said.
It's a song, no? How long people will stand aside while they kill our prophets? How long people will stand silent when people innocent, believing in God and having nothing in their life more important than just serve God? Are these people terrorists?
Are they criminals?
Criminals, murderers? Their only crime is to believe in something that says humanity first. What kind of world we are living in, sister? What is that?
I don't understand it. I know that when we listen to the words of about Sadiq from his peace, and as we mentioned before, you see that he knows, and this is the man who's here to unite the people. Everything he does is to unite. And he, with this book, united people from all around the world under one God. He has shown them how the God of Noah is the God of Abraham, is the God of Moses, is the God of Jesus, is the God of Muhammad. And he's shown, look at these people. Look how they all look so different from each other. There's a reason for it. Look how this man is fighting, not for his life. He's not fighting for his life. He's fighting for his book.
And you know this man? Who is this man? He's the man we have the pictures going all the time on the screen.
Let's show them. Let's show those pictures of what happened. This man has gone through what we're about to show you right now. This man has gone through that.
This very man was a few weeks ago in Iran, beaten up to death.
Look at the trauma he's gone through. Cracked
open his crane. He escaped from the hospital. Do you understand? He escaped from the hospital, ran away.
After they took his documents.
Exactly, and ran away in the same day, the same night, and ran as quick as possible in the first place where he could just escape from a tyrannical...
He's a father. He's a father who had to leave his children just so he could exist in a place where he can believe in a religion that he thinks honors God. That is called bravery. That's called true humanity.
Yeah.
That's a true human being.
Exactly. And Turkey, you say you are Muslim. And you, Bulgaria, you say you are Christian. Here's a true Christian. Here's a true Muslim.
Yes.
Whatever you will say about his belief, if it's too controversial for you, if it's not what you think, this man is not violent. This man is just so brave.
Humane.
And human. Look at him. He's pushed, but he doesn't push. He just wants to get out of this hell. Because he knows that in Turkey, even if he has not been persecuted in Turkey, he is in danger. Because in Turkey we have laws against blasphemy, and this book, it is considered by most of majority Muslim countries as very blasphemous.
Yes.
So for now, nothing has been done in Turkey to our believers and members. But in the laws, it is shown, and it has been proven by history that it is possible, that this can happen. So,
and you know, I want to say something here. For Turkey to understand this, if you are keeping these people hostage, really, it's hostage. It's a hostage case. I wouldn't even say you're detaining them, because to detain them implies that they've done something wrong and they deserve to be imprisoned. You are taking them hostage because these are innocent men and women and children too, elderly as well, were thrown on the ground. You're taking them hostage and you're keeping them locked up after they have not asked to live in your country. These people are not interested in living in Turkey.
At all.
They're not asking to live in your lands. They're not asking to insult you with their religion because you feel offended by them. They're saying, let us free. Let us go through because you don't want us to stay. They don't want us to stay. Algeria doesn't want us. Iran doesn't want us. Iraq doesn't want us. But now, apparently, Turkey, you don't want us. And Bulgaria is not allowing us in, and they're quiet. And where is the country that will stand up and say something and say,
we welcome them.
We'll look after you. It's fine. Where is that country that's going to finally raise its voice and say, well, we as believers in international human rights laws, we will take you in.
Exactly.
Don't worry, we'll give you the asylum that people of the past and different religions who have been suffering didn't receive. We're not going to allow history to repeat itself. We're going to look after you, O religious minority.
Where are you, America, the land of the migrants? You who proclaim to be democratic and tolerant to everybody. Who are you, Switzerland, where the siege of the United Nations of Human Rights resides?
Yes.
Where are you, Switzerland? 100 people, just for God. What does it cost to you to welcome these people and make justice and raise your head and stop to be silent and neutral for this case? There is so many countries in Europe, they have so much space. Don't tell me you are full. Don't tell me you don't have money. You have enough money to create weapons. You have enough money to create whatever it serves you. This is for humanity. Do something, because it is something that will just escalate in a very, very bad manner.
Yes, it will escalate.
And I would just want to ask, from which authority countries decide where people have to go? We have to understand here, as you mentioned, sister, these people are fleeing, escaping. They
Yes.
are not interested to stay in Turkey and to do anything in Turkey. You know that, for example, this weekend is election in Turkey. These people have absolutely they don't care at all about Turkey, their election. They just want to go through. And if you, Turkey, you want to deport them in Bulgaria. Deport them in a place where they are safe.
Somewhere where they are safe.
Who are you to
exactly.
bring them back to the place that they literally have death sentences on them, and they have been already in prison, tortured, raped, and menaced. Their families, there is people here, they have to leave their families, and the government took the house and the building of these families who are not believers because of these people.
And if it's not clear enough to anyone who's listening, and if it's not clear enough to Turkey, these individuals, if you deport them, then their blood will be on your hands, because we are telling you now, we are telling you that this is their life that you're sending them back to. The life you're sending them back to is gunshots, violence, death, imprisonment, children being ripped away from their parents, out of their mother's laps. You will be responsible for causing this. And that means if you deport them when you had another option and you still deport them, then all of these members who will be persecuted, as well as the thousands upon thousands of members that are of this religion around the world, in almost every country, we exist in almost every country around the world, you will be responsible for them getting persecuted too. You will be responsible for us getting persecuted as well. And that means what? That means by you choosing to deport them, you will be the one who decided to escalate the matter. You, with the information you have now and the abilities that you refuse or you could refuse to use, which are within your reach of not letting them get deported, you will be allowing that oppression increases. And you will be the one responsible for escalating this humanitarian crisis to a level that should not happen. Don't let that happen.
What is the difference between Iran, who will hang these people once they are back, if they are back, and God forbid. If Turkey allow that deportation, what is the difference then between Iran and Turkey? Tell me the difference. It's just giving the person to be slaughtered.
Just taking them to the guillotine. Knowing the guillotine is right there, you're sending them right back? You're sending them to be hanged? Are you sending them to go back to prison? What are you doing? Are you sending these people back so that their children can be thrown into some government facility where they're never cared for and God knows what will happen to them? Turkey, we are saying to you, this would be from you. And we are saying to you, you don't have to let that be the case.
We don't need to implore you to change your mind, to do something. Because you, Turkey, are claiming to be part of Europe. You want to become a part of Europe. You are all your economy and you look towards the West. You don't ally with Iran. You hate these people. You hate their Islam. You hate their government. But you cooperate with them if you deport them. Do you understand that? It doesn't make any sense. And if you do that, you are violating your own constitution and your own laws about non-refoulement of vulnerable people.
And you know what? Maybe we should actually do something where I want to show that open letter so that it's very clear to everyone watching
let's
out
go
there.
to the letter.
I want to show you that this group of individuals actually made sure that the authorities they were going to were fully aware that they are going there. They actually complied with the legal proceedings of making their intentions very clear.
Yes.
They identified themselves as a persecuted group. They got the support of different human rights organizations. All of this is not even necessary, according to international law, to cross the border.
No.
They did all this, right? They did all this. You've got Border Violence Monitoring Network saying, send them through. You've got Northern Lights Aid saying, let them through. Collective Aid is saying, let them through. Human Rights Without Frontiers is saying, let them through. Europe Cares is saying, let them through. Mission Wings Foundation, Center for Legal Aid, Voices in Bulgaria, the Association on Refugees and Migrants in Bulgaria, they're all saying, let them through, let them pass, let them get through, let them go over the border. All of them are saying it. And what do? You beat them up. You're going against all these organizations?
I think here what is happening also, and again, we are here to defend our members, but it's much bigger than that, because this case reveals once for all the reality of this system of migration,
yes.
This whole system between Europe and the Eastern country,
a dark reality
of what is really happening. And let me read just a post of some foundation, association who are used to this case and know the fact, they know the lives, they know the people who have tried to cross or who have crossed. Let me read this statement, because these people is the Center for Legal Aid Voice in Bulgaria. They wrote something on their Facebook page.
And they also supported them going and signed the letter. This is one of the same organizations.
Exactly. They recognize the truth of the matter, and they said, it is shocking, because let me read. They say, for years, Bulgarian authorities have repeated that migrants crossing the green border illegally are not refugees, because refugees will have to legally cross through the checkpoints designated for this. So what did our members do? They went exactly this way, officially, legally. First, they went officially and legally to the gate.
Yes.
Plus, they have a letter from the border network signed by 28 human rights organizations.
Which was sent prior.
Plus, they have a letter sending to the two borders saying, hey, we are coming.
Be aware.
Be aware. We are coming. Don't make as if you don't know us. We are coming in peace. We just want to go through, and we have all this backed up. And you have your article from the Constitution and the Convention of Geneva and the human rights law that you have to honor. Please.
And all the NGOs on the other side waiting to receive us.
Okay. So now we are in a situation where I go on to the text. Today, we saw that this is practically on the terrain is practically impossible to receive asylum. What is the way to legal seek protection access to secure territory? Aren't the vicious and dangerous roads of sewerage and traffic the only option available for the most vulnerable?
This is so tragic. Look at that statement. Isn't that the truth? This is literally the truth. Now even the Center for Legal Aid Voice in Bulgaria is putting its hands up saying, well, then what else is left? Or is that all we have now? You just want to throw them on the streets?
So
is that what you're expecting?
So what is the matter? Is there a complete denial? You are saying you people are lying. You are not in danger of death. You are not tortured. You are not imprisoned. You are liars. And it's a denial of the proof we have documented, and this is on your hands, on your conscience, and on your mind. The other possibility is, no, come. And then you are lying. Because they came officially, you rejected them. You say, don't pass illegally. The people who pass legally, there is so many videos and articles on internet. Not only they are pushed back by the military, by the police of the border, but there is people, even locals, people go there and they attack the migrants. Nobody wants these migrants. Nobody, they don't care.
And you have to understand, these people are not going out there because they want to apply to a better university or because they want to sit in a coffee shop in Europe. They are going at the border because they want to live a day where they wake up in the morning and they can still have their child in their home. These are people who want to live a life where they can actually go to work without getting shot in the head by police officers, who, when they go to the police, because militias are attacking them in Iraq, the police tell them, you should have been killed. This is their government talking. What government should they belong to if they cannot belong to their own government? And if the UN approved states are also saying you cannot come to us, then where are they meant to go? I really want us to show that law where the United Nations themselves are saying that yes, these individuals are meant to be allowed into the country. Because we know by internationally applied human rights laws, we know that these individuals should be allowed safe passage. There it is. You've got it right there. That's the Refugee Convention that the UN has signed on and approved of, and all these countries that are part of the UN have agreed on. What does it say? Refugees have the right to asylum and to a full and fair individualized assessment with the right to appeal.
So please follow with us, because it's really...
this is important as well.
Okay,
So
okay.
we've got Article 58 of the 4 of the law on asylum and refugees. It says that asylum can be applied for with a verbal statement, not even written, just verbal, submitted in front of the border police. These people didn't even just write say a verbal statement. They wrote an entire letter that was vouched for.
Yes.
What do you want?
Yeah, I want really now us and you who are watching us just to stop one minute and to really just logically understand what's happening beyond any kind of belief and any kind of a priori of thinking of who is there and who is asking for asylum. We have a world where there is injustice and there is people who are persecuted. This is a truth which I think it's recognized by everybody on this planet. There is people, they have to escape because of their religious belief, because of their sexual orientation, because of their ethnic origin. This right now, for these few minutes, it doesn't matter. There is people who are persecuted, they have to go, they have to leave their country, because the country will kill them. We all agree on that. Now, what do we do with these people? Are we a humanity today in the 21st century that accept to ignore these people, to kill these people, to let them drown, to let them hanged, to let them be killed? No, we don't. So there is people creating laws, they're creating conventions, they're creating human rights conventions for everybody to be aware, and all these people agree on that. Okay, fine. So now, in practicality, how does it happen? There is one solution again. There is people who tried because they don't trust the countries. They tried to pass illegally. Our people didn't choose that because first, they respect Europe. First, they respect these people, their country, their culture, and they respect what they built, and they respect that they maybe don't want foreigners. They even understand that. So they say, we don't want to invade your country. Why will you accept us if we go by force? So, the people go legally. But when the people go legally, what is happening? They are not even heard. What happened? It is live recorded, and you have we have the footage. Nobody of these 100 people have been in the small cabin and examined by the police on their case.
Individually, like this.
Nobody.
They
didn't even take the time to ask themselves what was their case. They blocked them with a cage, they beat them, pushed them back.
Look at that. Just
took
thrown
the belongings.
Aside, like they're not even human beings.
The gunshot in the air. There is kids, 6 months kids, 12 years kids,
I don't
women.
understand it. I just really also want to understand the mentality here, because I don't get it. You've got, I really, on a human level, I'm just really like, I'm going to just say it, like, I am so, like you said, it's never, you never get used. You never get used to this. Listen to this girl. I can't. Every time I listen to this girl, every time I see this child, look at her. She's gone through so much. She's so afraid. She just wants to go home. What is home for her? She doesn't have home.
A place of safety. That's all they ask.
Look at this. Look at this young man. He's just standing there. He's not a criminal. They're not doing anything wrong. They are so tired of discrimination. Can you imagine? We're living in a world where there are human beings who are so used to not being treated as human beings.
And this is okay.
And they're so used to it. Look at the resilience in his face. He's so used to it. He doesn't care. He's saying, I don't care. He's holding his book. He's showing, he's like, look, see this? No, I won't put it down. Look at the terror in this place. It's too much. Someone has to make it stop. Someone, Turkey, Bulgaria, Switzerland, Germany, I don't care. Some country out there that claims to be part of this UN, this moral, ethical code you follow. Don't let this happen. Make it stop. We're saying make it stop on this platform because you can.
What is the solution then? Do you follow? What is the solution? You have to cross, if you don't go to the legal place, because now we have a case, we have shown to the whole world. You come officially with a letter, with backup with human rights organization.
No weapons, they're not holding anything in their hands but a book, they're not holding guns.
Nothing.
They have their babies.
So you are refooled, you are pushed back. So what is the solution? I want an answer from the international community. What is the solution? You say it's illegally not to go through not the gate, but if you go to the gate, you are beaten up. So maybe you have to try another border. Let's go to Greece. You know what they do in Greece? They put back people on the middle of the sea and they pierce the boat with a knife and say goodbye, good luck. They build a wall which is you don't have ID.
Brother, we're living in a world where animals are treated better at the zoo.
Of course.
Animals that they take from different countries in cages, they bring them to their countries, they put them in a beautiful little territory for them, and they have people come and watch them, and they'll feed those animals, and they'll give them a home, and they'll even let them have a mate and have the children they have and look after them, and they'll give them names, and they will treat those animals better than their fellow human beings. It's disturbing, it's shocking. We're living in the 21st century. I am so disheartened and so disillusioned by the idea that we're living in a civilized world. And anyone out there, UN, United Nations, you're claiming to take care of people around the world. You say you can't help people who are in countries like India and Pakistan and Kashmir and all these places. You can't help them in Egypt. You can't help them in those countries. They're not there. They're at a border that you can reach them at.
They're just a few kilometers away from you now.
They're a few kilometers away. Go and help them out. They're right in your reach. Look at these people. We've had enough. And you know what? We want enough. We've had enough, and we want to hear the words of the head of our faith. We want to hear the words of our Imam now.
Yes. Let's go through, because I think he explained it like nobody else.
Absolutely. I want to hear what the riser of the family of Muhammad, Abbas Sadiq, from him is peace, the man who is more human than any human being we have ever met, the man who has written this humane book which says humanity first, a man whose creed is truly his actions, as opposed to all these people who claim that they are going to be humane and give human rights. Let's go to his words now. Let's go to the first clip right now.
We've tried every single route that there is. We applied for visas to safe countries. The people got rejected because the standards that they made for the visas are so high. We refused to go into countries illegally, and we presented ourselves at the border legally. We faced violence, and we were beat down, and we were punished for attempting to respect the law. We attempted to contact the United Nations in Turkey. There was absolutely no response from them whatsoever. They don't even answer the phone. So if we've taken all these measures, if the leading human rights organizations around the world, they've investigated and they have declared us to be a people that are indeed in danger, if we've brought forward credible evidence that we have been imprisoned and we are facing death, and they still don't care and they still want to send us back to our country, well, then they're sentencing us to death. And then it needs a stance. It needs that our people go out there and really do get martyred. And my people will get martyred.
Yes.
And my people will be proud to get martyred for this cause, if that's what it takes, because we are true believers in what it is that we are preaching.
I mean, those few words for me are extraordinarily heavy. I mean, what our religious leader, the effective head of our faith,
yes,
Abbas Sadiq, from him his peace, what he said, let's just make it very, very clear for everyone out there. He has said the exact truth. These men and women and children were standing there after risking everything, and they're still believing in this religion. It doesn't affect them. It doesn't affect us. we are not concerned with having a good life. We are not concerned with life. We are concerned with God. You can do anything. You can take your sticks and beat them, beat us. You can take your bullets and shoot us. It doesn't matter. You know why? Because God is victorious, regardless. Have you not known the stories of Jesus and the disciples? Have you not read the history of Muhammad and his companions? Have they not known that Imam Hussein, the grandson of Muhammad, is a man who will stand and watch his family get slaughtered one after the other, and his feet will still take him to the battlefield, and he will offer his head for the sake of God, because he will not let go of God. This is who we are.
Yes.
This is who we are. We are their people. They are our people. They are our leaders.
Yes.
What fear?
We are the disciples of Christ. We are the companions of Prophet Muhammad. What will have happened if the people of Medina have said to Prophet Muhammad and his companions, no, we don't have place for you.
We reject you.
We don't like you because you don't go with your tribal laws. No, you don't go the old way, the cultural way, the traditional way. We don't want you. Go away, go back to your place where they want to kill you. This is the story of your religion. This is the story of all the prophets and the messengers. Yes, we claim that this book is written by the man who is sent by God today. And we are afraid of nothing. We are not afraid of anything in this world. We just ask the liberty and the freedom to teach, to proclaim, and to believe in what we believe. We are not here to invade anything. We are not here to terrorize anybody. But we are treated as if we want to invade. We are treated like ISIS. We are treated like people who are violent. This is what you have to understand. These people have been beaten up, but they are teaching peace.
I mean, what I don't understand is they're being treated as if they're extremists,
Yes.
as if they're criminals. Well, you know what true extremism is? It's having that kind of discrimination where you see someone and you immediately decide that they need to be hurt, they need to be killed. That's discrimination. Discrimination, extremism, violence, it looks like that's what we're seeing from the Turkish border police, not giving them an individualized assessment, not saying, who are you, sir? Why are you standing here? Why have you carried your baby all this way? You don't look Turkish. You look like a foreigner. What's your case? Where's your paperwork? Not giving, not even allowing that.
They didn't hear them.
That this religion, what is your religion? What is it that you believe in? Why are you being persecuted?
No, in this book, we speak a lot about this book and the controversy of this book, the controversial belief in this book. But did you know that in this book there is a whole chapter? I mean, most of the book speaks about that. It speaks about the divine just state.
Yes.
A divine just state where the people, everybody has the right to have a house, a job, a vehicle, a family. They have the right to live in peace, whatever their faith is. Not even sharing the faith of the people who are building this divine just state. This is what is promised by the man who wrote this book. And this promise will become true because he is sent by God and he has all the proofs and the evidence that he is sent by God. You are persecuting the people of God today.
Yes.
I don't know if you realize what is happening today. I think you have absolutely no idea what you are starting right now by oppressing these people. These people are, by their martyr, by their persecution, showing your true face. And now you have a choice, individually, collectively, as a country, as a land, to show who you are. Who you are, you Turkish guards. Do you know why do you beat these people? Do you know even these people? Have you not reflected when you came back home? What happened?
What did my hands do today?
Why did I do that?
Protect?
In a divine just state. These people who beat up the innocent, these people have to be arrested and imprisoned.
The true crime is beating up an innocent human being. That's
Everything is upside down here. You have to reflect on this world. And everybody who has a little bit of conscience and power, please act. Make your path. Spread this news. Spread this alarming story. This is not only the story of 100 people beaten up when they peacefully and innocently ask for refuge. This is the history of the 21st century between people who proclaim to be a Muslim nation or a Christian nation and kill and imprison innocent people. In the name of what? Economic laws? In the name of what, please?
It's not even in the name of your international laws. It's not even in the name of your constitution. It's not in the name of anything you claim to hold up. So what are you doing it in the name of? Clearly, let's just say it. It's in the name of discrimination. Clearly, let's just call it out for what it is. It's racism. Clearly, it's bias against migrants and refugees. That is a clear fact, and it's unfortunate. Do you want to be remembered that way? We're saying to you, hey, there's a chance that you turn this around,
yes,
and you're not remembered that way. There's a chance that you can actually turn this around and be remembered differently. Let's look at another clip now that goes more into this.
And as far as the 103 members and also Basir, they're all facing deportation. And the problem with that is that if they are deported back to their countries, it is an immediate death sentence for the Iranians. And the Iraqis are probably going to be assassinated too. And for sure, the Moroccan and the Jordanians and the Thai and all the other nationalities that are over there are facing imprisonment for a very long time.
Because of their beliefs. Their beliefs,
Absolutely,
their beliefs
for nothing
and
more
beliefs in this
other
book.
than their beliefs. Yeah. And so that's totally and completely unacceptable. And as the leader of the Ahmadi religion of peace and light, which has thousands upon thousands of members, believers worldwide and in almost every country on the earth, I am demanding that the governments of the world do something to stop the deportation of these people. And if they don't do anything about it, and if Turkey does deport our members to these countries and they get killed, then the blood is on their hands.
I just want to make it very clear right now, the gravity of the situation. You've heard the effective faith, the effective head of this faith. You've heard about Sadiq from whom is peace. Now he has publicly made this official statement. He is officially stating, oh, Turkey, if you deport these people, the blood of these people will be on your hands. You must understand now that we as a religion, a registered, recognized religion,
yes,
a 501c3 non-profit US-based organization, a registered religion. This is not a cult, this is not a school of thought, this is an actual religion that exists on this planet Earth.
yes.
We as a religion with thousands upon thousands of followers that exist in almost every country in this world,
Yes.
we as a religion with a banner are now saying officially, this will be on your hands. That is something you need to take heed of, because that means that a great majority of this, there is a part of this world right now that's going to actually put that on you and blame you for that crime. And we don't want that to be the case for you. Let's go on to the next clip.
Are believers in Iran, Iraq, Jordan, Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, all over the Middle East and North Africa, are willing to go out on the streets and get martyred for the sake of freedom of religion, for the sake of La ilaha illallah, for the sake of being able to say that this is who I am without being forced to hide in their bedroom or hide, in silence. We're not going to take it anymore. So now it's either the Turkish government stops the deportation, or they're going to have a lot of blood on their hands. And it's going to be an international scandal, because every time one of these people get arrested, every time one of these people faces death, every time that Iran hangs one of these people for apostasy, every time that there's a religious decree issued against our followers by some sort of fundamentalist nutcase in the Middle East or somewhere around the world, the fault will lie on Turkey, and the fault will lie on the European Union and America, who sat around, in the West, who sat around not doing anything about it. Their laws are contradictory, Joe. It's like they tell you, we support human rights, and we would have helped you if you were in our country. Just come into our country, and then we will give you residency. We can't help you if you're out of the country. Just come to the country. You try to come to the country, you try to apply for a visa, you can't, you get rejected. They say it's because you don't have ties to your country. Well, how can I have ties to my country if I'm fleeing the country?
Yeah, I mean, there is so much said that again the case is presented as a dead end. And
it is a dead end. I mean, this is
death row. Is it the only thing that they propose is that actually they don't care. That's what the message of Turkey and Bulgaria today, and I hope it will change. But what they are saying is like, come, but actually, and you say the same. We have no reaction internationally about that.
And the UN, I mean, I'm sorry, but this United Nations that have a great responsibility on their shoulders, I would hope that you could answer the phone when someone is in need. Let alone say that you're going to make these claims of taking care of large countries and making sure there's no humanitarian crisis and trying your best to ensure that this doesn't happen or that doesn't happen. Please answer the phone, because we're trying to get some word in that there's something going on that we need help with.
I mean, what is your excuse? We have followed all the steps that you advise us to follow to legally receive asylum. It is proven these people are persecuted for religious belief. It is a right recognized by you or international community or UN or EU that these people have the right of asylum in your country. But it's not happening. There is some loophole there. There is something not working in your system.
Something is wrong.
Is this case an isolated case? Or is it just something that finally reveals the whole entirety of hypocrisy behind your system? Please enlighten us.
I mean, is it really going to be like this? Is this really what it's going to get to? Is it actually going to be, and forgive me for my heavy loaded words, but we have men and women whose lives are on the line right now. Is this really going to be another Holocaust? Are you asking for something like that? Are you initiating something like that by allowing this to happen? We're asking you not to. We're asking you to stop the train in its tracks and get a detour happen and let these people just pass through. We're not asking you for anything else. Let's see what it is that Abba Sadiq Muhammad's peace says about it.
We walk up to a fence or walk up to one of the sides of the country. We find a fence all around it or a wall. We don't want to break through. It's illegal. We believe that if we did that, that would reflect not so nicely. Why would these people welcome us into their homes if we're breaking in? We don't feel like that's what we should do. And we also respect the European country and its population's money that it spent on building these fences and building these walls. They put it there to prevent people from coming in. So why would we break it and force ourselves in? The only way to enter is through the door. And yet they have agreements between them and Turkey that prevent people from crossing through. So what is it that we shall do? The only choice that we have now is to die and to make a statement. The revolution of the Arab Spring, it all started because there was a man that had just taken enough oppression. He's just had enough oppression that he set himself on fire. And that was the spark that caused the entire Middle East to revolt. The blood of that man. The Buddhists in Tibet, in different parts of the world, how did they protest? How did they revolt? They set themselves on fire. And the West was amazed, and it caught the attention of the world. when they saw those images of those people that were suffering so much that they felt they had no other option but to set themselves on fire. Well, my followers too, we've had enough. And we too, if we are deported, are going to set ourselves on fire.
I think it's good.
Can you
hear us?
Can you believe the words that you're listening to right now? Honestly, when I hear the way that Abu Sadiq from his peace has laid it out, I am absolutely, I'm just stunned, because I realize, and I'm sure you can agree with me, that the urgency of the situation is so grave, it's so intense that when he says something like, what are you saying essentially? When he says to them, essentially, what are you saying? Are you saying we have no home? Are you saying that it will take that much sacrifice and that much pain to occur and that much death before you finally decide to recognize that we are human beings, that we have rights just like other human beings? Are you going to give us the same plight as the people of old?
Does it always need martyrdom? Is it the only way in this world to be heard? Have we not evolved? As you say in the West, have we not evolved? You say in Europe, we have so much evolved, we don't need any more religion. This is too old. We don't want these old books. We want secularism, right? We want human rights. Your whole Europe is based on that. But what you are saying is that we don't have place for you. Because of this book, because of what you believe, there is not place for you on this earth. You say you can die silently, but we will not. As our leader said, we will not. We will not let this happen silently. And if martyrdom is needed for humanity to hear this call, to hear the truth, martyrdom will happen. And nobody in this call is afraid, because we have nothing else than faith. And we are not threatening with violence. Do you hear us? All these groups that you persecuted, that you are afraid of, they are violent and they are threatening with violence. We are not. We are just asking to live and exist. And we refuse to die silently.
Yes.
This is our claim. And you will hear us in one way or the other. Because this call will never die. This is the call of God. And we are calling you to consider our claim and our imploration for justice and humanity.
We're asking you to allow these people to pass safely and to not deport them, because that is the only right thing that you can do. There's no other right choice for you. There's either that, and every other choice you might make is wrong and evil and dark, because it means blood is on your hands. Basically, essentially, what you're doing is you're pushing human beings against the wall, and you're pushing them and you're pushing them and you're blaming them for dying, because we refuse to not be human beings. And to be a human being means to stand firm to what you believe is true. That's what being a human being means, is having faith. So when we say we will have faith, you say you will be punished for it. And we are saying now, to wrap up what we're saying, is that these over 100 people sitting in that detention center being taken as hostage essentially by the Turkish authorities, we're asking that the Turkish authorities let them have safe passage out. This is our religion. We're honored to face anything we face for this religion and for this cause and for this faith. And we'll be right back, and thank you so much for tuning in.